Chapter 1, The Sleepy Bear in the Deep, Dark Forest. There lived a bear named Bruno who was always incredibly sleepy. No matter how much he tried, he just couldn't seem to stay awake for more than an hour at a time. Chapter 2, The Ninja Dog. Meanwhile, in a nearby clearing, there was a dog named Fido who was secretly a skilled ninja. He spent his days practicing his stealthy moves and honing his martial arts skills. Chapter 3, The Grumpy Old Dragon. Across the forest, in a smoky mountain cave, lived a grumpy old dragon named Ignatius. He was always grumbling about something, whether it was the weather, the food, or the fact that he couldn't seem to find a good hoard of treasure. Chapter 4, The Meeting. One day, Bruno the bear stumbled upon Fido the ninja dog while he was practicing his moves. Intrigued, Bruno watched as Fido leapt and spun through the air, completely unaware of the bear's presence. Chapter 5, The Chase. As Bruno watched, he couldn't help but feel a little envious of Fido's energy and agility. So, on a whim, he decided to chase after the dog, hoping to learn some of his ninja skills. Chapter 6, The Training. Fido was initially surprised by Bruno's sudden burst of energy, but he quickly realized that the bear was just trying to play. And so, Fido decided to take Bruno under his paw and teach him the ways of the ninja. Chapter 7, The Dragon's Lair. As Bruno and Fido were training, they suddenly heard a loud roar coming from the direction of the mountain cave. Fearing that it was the grumpy old dragon, Ignatius, they quickly hid behind a nearby tree. Chapter 8, The Plan. As it turned out, Ignatius was indeed the source of the roar. He was feeling particularly annoyed that day, and was looking for something to take out his frustration on. Bruno and Fido knew that they had to come up with a plan to stop the dragon from causing any more trouble. Chapter 9, The Ambush. After much discussion, Bruno and Fido decided to ambush Ignatius while he was napping. They crept quietly into the cave, making sure to avoid waking the dragon. Chapter 10, The Battle. Just as they were about to pounce, Ignatius suddenly woke up and let out a mighty roar. Bruno and Fido knew they had to act fast, so they sprang into action, using all the ninja skills they had learned. Chapter 11, The Triumph. Despite Ignatius's best efforts, Bruno and Fido were able to outmaneuver him, using their combined strength and skills to defeat the grumpy old dragon. Chapter 12, The Friendship. After the battle, Bruno and Fido realized that they had become the best of friends. They decided to continue training together, and even invited Ignatius to join them, hoping to teach the old dragon some new tricks. Chapter 13, The Adventure. With their new friendship and skills, Bruno, Fido, and Ignatius set off on a series of adventures throughout the forest, facing all sorts of challenges and overcoming them with their combined strength and wit. Chapter 14, The Legacy. As Bruno, Fido, and Ignatius grew older and their adventures slowed down, they began to focus on passing on their knowledge and skills to the next generation. They taught all the young bears, dogs, and dragons in the forest the art of stealth, strength, and friendship, ensuring that their legacy would live on for generations to come. Chapter 15, The End. And so, Bruno, Fido, and Ignatius lived out the rest of their days happily, surrounded by the friends and family they had made on their journey. Their adventures may have come to an end, but their legend lived on forever in the hearts and minds of all who knew them.